O, widzisz, już jest lepiej. Przynajmniej się widzimy, nie?
Dobra, bo zaraz będą...
Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery, raz, dwa, trzy, cztery.
Słyszymy się?
Słyszymy się, patrzę jak to...
No dobra, okej, uruchamiam, tak?
No, dawaj.
Hello and welcome to our webinar. Please tell us if you can hear us.
Great. That's super nice. Oh, hello, Elma. Hey, hello. Yeah, so as we will probably wait a little bit for users, for a few more users, I will just give you the quick overview what we are going to talk about today. So mainly today we will go with a demo of a workflow because we add a manage module. It's a little bit so right now it's the workflow is a little bit more, I would say, more advanced. So you can just plan a work in a few next months, for example, if you like. So you can just manage the content plan for let's say a quarter or a half year. So this is something where we will go through to explain you how to do this process as easy as possible, but as effective as it should be as well. So this is where we will focus today. We will also work on and talk a little bit about new features, and that's and I believe that's the main goal of a meeting today. And later we will just have a Q&A as always. Hello, Radu. We miss you as well. So I believe this is something that we. It's just a week from the last webinar, so I believe it's quite fast. Okay, so maybe let's start.
Okay, this is something we already talked about. And our roadmap. As you can see, we've covered most of most important features. Today we are going to talk about content management module, and one small addition that is waiting to be developed is Schema Data Explorer.
Yeah, so for all the rest, we are according to the plan. We spend a little bit more time on the content planner, and I believe the content planner right now and the content management, it works very well. So this is something where we can be, I would say, quite proud of. So this is something which should improve your usability in the tool and the workflow as well, and the process in general. Yeah, and of course we have a big roadmap which will be delivered step by step. And yeah, so from the roadmap, we believe there are 3 main points, which are like the new draft. So we have to redesign the draft mode, the AI templates, and a little bit more information like schema data and so on, or on the competition understanding. Yeah, that's something that it's and smart keyword. Yeah. Okay.
And we probably didn't mention it before. We are recording this session, so you will get a link after.
Yeah, and always all the sessions are, if you log in the NeuronWriter, in the right top corner you have a video guideline. So if you just click on the videos and then you click on the tab which is called webinars, you will find all previous webinars which we hosts. Yeah. Yeah, and there is one more info about the process, how you can buy NeuronWriter right now, because we were communicating as much as we can about leaving the AppSumo marketplace, but it was not enough, to be honest. And we were like, we get a lot of users which would like to or buy codes or just I would say upgrade accounts. So it was so many that we just give you an option right now for update or buy plan on the lifetime deal, and all this is available in the NeuronWriter. So if you go to your profile page, there will be option for updating your current plan. We are giving you this opportunity till the end of the October because we have some other plans, and maybe we'll share it later during the Q&A. But yeah, we have some agreements with AppSumo, and this is what we can do. And to be honest, yeah, that's all what we can do for you right now.
Okay, so moving on to the demo of our new features. We're going to show this on a project you've already seen probably, which is adidas.com and the topic related to running shoes. And as you've probably already seen before, there is a next content recommendation module, which gives you ideas about titles and keywords that you can write content on. And as you can see, we also give information about your competitors that have covered the given topic. From this view, you can add the ideas to the content plan. And it's probably a good idea to start with a top-level keyword that is very general, such as running shoes, and develop smaller topics from this point, adding them to the content plan. And now moving on to the content plan module. What has changed now is we've also added the options to assign a person to a given topic, and also set the expected delivery date. So you can do this from here. And based on this information, we will also give you a calendar view that combines all the planned article titles or keywords, and also the ones that are already in your optimizations and you're working on. And as you can see, there is a new button that leads you to content management module. And from this content management module, you can see that there are a lot of articles planned. They are put in different colors, and the typical color is dark blue, which says that there is already an optimization for the given keyword. The light blue color says that the article has been added to the content plan, but you didn't start working on it. And as you can see from the content planner, you can go directly to content writing and create a new optimization, and also assign this optimization to the copywriter and set the expected delivery date. And all this information will be put into the optimizations table, where you can also edit these assignments. And based on these optimizations and planned content ideas, we generate the content calendar. So, as I said before, if the color is dark blue, it means the article is already in progress. If it's light blue, it means it's planned, but you didn't create the optimization and you didn't start working on it. And if it's in green color, it means it has already been completed. And you can also see the information about the person that is responsible for writing the content. You can click on the calendar event, and you will see the editor. And if the content hasn't already been put into the optimizations, you will get to the content plan view where you can add the content to optimizations and start writing. And there are also some filters available. So, for instance, you can select content that has already been done, or content assigned to a certain person, for instance, Kate. There is also a possibility to show this as a list. So, for instance, like that, where you can get all the content pieces that have to be delivered within the next month. Have I missed something?
Okay, no. So I will just make a general conclusion here. So Damian presented how this works on a technical level and how you can use this and what are the benefits for you as a, let's say, or a copywriter or someone who planned content for yourself or for others in a long term. So first of all, we understand that everyone has different I would say plan, yes? So sometimes you have 25 optimizations or queries per month, sometimes 50. It's really depend. But with the content planner, you can just, the content planner for us, how we see the content planner, it's just like your ideas. So this is like a plan for a future content. And of course, you can add there as many elements as you want. So let's say you have a 25 queries per month, but you can add from those 25 queries, you can just make like 100 ideas. So, okay, you can add 100 ideas to your content plan. That's fine. You have 100 ideas, but what next? So next, you can go through those ideas and you can just select them and say like, okay, that will be for, I don't know, September, that's for October, and this will do N, and this should be a Kate, and so on and so on. So in general, you can plan a workflow for next weeks or months or even a year upfront, starting with very low query level. And later, it's not yet visible, but later we will also tell you on a specific month how many queries you still have, if there are any left. So let's say you have planned for 25 queries per month, but you already planned content for 20 new articles this month. Then we will tell you, yes, this month you can use 5 more, and so on and so on. So this is something where you can really easy plan your long-term content strategy based on this. How improve your topical authority. So how from these high-level topics go into the subtopics, and then how to cover all this topical, let's say topical space in your niche. This is just a starting point for us. I mean, like there is a still work in progress, because usually we develop and release the new features on the end of the month and in the middle of the month. So this is like somewhere in the middle of this 2 days. But I believe in a few days more, you will have a little bit more elements about how to tag the content pieces and so on and so on. So it will be even more I would say useful. But the general idea for us is like, okay, I'm here with my starting point. This is the month number 1, and I'm starting to optimize my content. I'm starting to planning my content, what I can do for the next month and the next month and next quarter and so on. So in the general, this is what we are trying to achieve right now, is to give you the opportunity to plan your content in batches according to this, how many queries you have per month for the next, let's say, months, yes? And building this topical authority also will help you in general to have a better rankings and better indexing and so on. So everything what it's what we cover in the NeuronWriter, it's basically built to help you rank better and help you build this topical authority. If you have any questions about the new features, then go on right now. So we will just answer them, and later we will go for a full demo. So we will just go through the best practices because we have a lot of new users, and we would like to also give them some feedback about how to work with the NeuronWriter from A to B. So lower wall. So we are just browsing through.
Okay. There was a question about the colors for competitors coverage. Having a very low competitor score should be a good thing, right? I'm a bit confused about the red color. Do I get this right? Do the colors from green to red mean something? And I think it's about this view, or probably even
is this view, yeah, here.
Content recommendations. Okay, so the level of competition is one thing, but the information that your competitors covered with a particular topic is reassuring you that probably this is something worth writing about, and you should probably cover the topic to build your topical authority. So
yeah, so on this example, if you just look on this, what you have on your screen, and you have the first extreme competitor coverage. So if you just look, there is a running shoes woman. So we are seeing that Adidas.com is ranking on the number 7, and ASIC and Hoka and Nike has a content as well. Yes, so there is a strong user intent here, and the competitors are also covering this inter. So we are telling you, yeah, this is extremely important. Yes, if most of your competitors are covering the topic and they are covering this topic well, which we understand that are quite high in the results pages, then we will tell you, yeah, this is something that you should, let's say, at least think about, and this is why it's green. And there are some low coverage, which means like maybe you can think about this, but it's not really something that it's covered yet by your competitors. It doesn't mean that it's bad or good. It just means that the competitors' coverage is low. So for example, if you are Adidas and you are doing something like a query Adidas best shoes, then of course, if you choose the different brands as your competitors, then the competitors' coverage will be low because you are using the brand keyword. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't write about this topic. Because anyway, you have to write about this topic, yes? So this is what we mean. We just give you the information like, okay, this is really important because most of your competitors are covering this topic. Thank you, Linda. So it's not a question, it's just like, thank you for us. Thank you, Linda, as well. Yeah, so here are some feedback from users that content it's indexing very fast and so on. Yeah, they will be recording. So Francois, I don't really understand the question, but we can go into this on the chat or something like this, because Francois is asking about some kind of extra adding the URL somewhere. We don't really get this here.
Yeah, I think it also refers to adding your custom URL to the analysis at the beginning.
So that's something that it's on our roadmap. So it will be like, it will be. And Radu is asking about how to add the content articles to the content plan. This is something what you can do when you do on the article level. You have in the table 2 new columns. One of the columns is a date, and the second one is a person. If you just use 2 of them, it will be visible in the content management. So it will be not in the content plan because it's already done, but it will be in the content management. So you can just do this there. Yeah. So So the second question from Jack is the same. Yeah, so yeah. So Kevin, it's not linking yet to your calendar, but maybe this is something what we should think about. Surely there will be alerts about new tasks for the person who is invited as a content owner, but that's something what we are going to do. So how to outrank big brands? I believe you can outrank big brands only with the very specific content. So because the big brands, if you are thinking about what the big brands are doing very well, they have a very good brand traffic. So brand traffic is really something that they have, but they don't really, as you can see here, even with the Adidas example, but they don't really cover broad. So this is like they are just covering the main topics, but they don't really go into the details. And surely this is what they also don't do, like the Adidas, for example. They don't do the reviews, and they don't do comparisons, and so on and so on. So there is a lot of elements when you can just beat them by delivering the content which they don't have. Okay. So this update is already live. Just refresh your app and it should be there.
When we said about the option available only for a month, we meant that buying lifetime access will be available till the end of October.
Yeah. So update. So these new functions are already in your account, but buying the codes on our website is in until the end of October. So Joseph is asking if I don't have the competitors, does it make sense to use this tool? How it's possible that you don't have the competitors? I don't know, to be honest, because you always have a competitors, because the search is full of competitors. Whatever you write in Google, there are answers there. So even if you think about that you don't have the competitors on the product level, then you will have a competitors on the traffic level, which is a competitor as well. So then you have to figure it out, who is your real competitors. Okay, then Kevin is asking about the email alerts. Yes, they are there. How to get more content ideas? We're clicking on find new ideas. If there is not enough ideas, then we will improve this, because we are seeing right now some options for improvement, but I will, as we said, I will go for quite a broad keyword. And then from this broad keyword, you will have a lot of information about new ideas, I would say. So, yeah. Yeah, Karan is asking if you can upgrade. Yes, you can upgrade. This is what we are talking about. You can go just right now to a profile page, and you can just upgrade.
And this is the option you're looking for.
So, John, how many competitors can we have? Because I'm in the niche with 15 plus competitors. You can have as many as you want, but I would say 5, 7, it's enough. I would just get for the most competitive ones. So, and competitive means like on the content level mainly. So it's not about the price level, it's more on the content level. So if you are thinking like, okay, what are the main 5 websites which are visible when the user search for something that I'm should be proud of, then that's your main competitors. Yes. So look on the competitor level more like a search competitors. Okay, so thank you. So I think so we are okay with the questions. I believe so. Okay, there's okay. So here we have a question from Stuart. Okay, so Stuart is asking like, okay, he just bought a NeuronWriter. He's asking about the best use case for starting with the NeuronWriter. That's something that we will cover in the next, I don't know, 5 minutes, just after the questions. So is there some protection that already written keywords are not used again in the other post? Yes, typically if you are planning the content plan, and if there are duplicates on the content plan, it will be just treated as one item. So about here Window Fashion is asking about the factors in the content score. So we will go into this in a few minutes, like how to do the correct content score, or what is important in content score. So yeah, tables will be visible in the content editor soon. We have this on the task list.
Okay, one more about the content plan. How many articles can we add to the content plan? We don't limit this.
No, there is no limit, but I assume you should limit this on your own. We will give you also option. It's not visible yet, but there will be option for tagging. So you can tag like, for to do, for in progress and so on. So there will be some kind of tagging. But in general, I would just say like because this is why we do the management model, because we understand that it's unlimited and you can add like, I don't know, 500 or 1,000 ideas, but then we will give you just some kind of, I would say filtering options where you can just filter this according to, let's say, tagging. We believe that the tagging system will be the best one. Okay, so Corey asking for clustering features. About the keyword clustering features, this is not something that we are going for. We already explained this in the previous webinar. We don't really willing to work on the keyword level because we don't see this useful anymore. So the word and the semantical SEO working so yeah, I mean say like changing so fast that the keywords are meaningless right now. So is there a way to set up the listing of my articles to be always sorted by the expected date? Yeah, I believe it's not yet, but that's something that we will add surely, because this is what we shared today with you is more like an MVP. So just take it and use it and give us a feedback. But of course, as I said, there should be at least tagging system and also some kind of filtering system and so on. Okay, so let's finish here and we will go through the quick demo. So I will try to do it quite quick, or Damian, I will just randomly choose one of, and then we'll just explain you how to use the NeuronWriter. I would say, I believe this what we will do. We will just give you the information how to do this in quick way and the most accurate way. And later, if you have questions, then we will just go into the details, like how to do this and how to do that and so on. So just ask during our presentation if you have any questions, but we will just start like, typical journey, like this is step 1. and what you do, and step 2, step 3, step 4, and that will be, I believe, everything will be covered. So who is going? Me.
I don't know. We can play.
Okay, so I will start. I will just start, and then later I will give it to Damien. Okay. So so completely. I know that some of you can probably be bored, but yeah, I will try to do this quite fast. So if you just start with the NeuronWriter, the first what you have to do, sorry. So the first what you have to do is just create a new project. What is a project? Project is mainly a folder for your queries, for your analysis. And you can have 2 ways of creating the project. So you can create the domain-related project, and this is something what we really advise, because later there is a lot of elements and data, I would say data-driven facts, which are related to the domain. So this is like 95% of you should go for a domain-related project, and then you just type the domain name, and later in the next step you will choose a language and a country. But if you are a copywriter, you don't have your own website, you are just working for customers, and you have a lot of customers today, customer A, and tomorrow customer B, whatever, and you don't really figure it out what happens later with your content. You just focus on writing the content. You can do the project not related to a domain, and then you can just keep all the analyses, all the analyses in one folder. So you can have let's say in French keyword for France, in French Google, and you can, I don't know, Spanish keyword for Mexico, and Spanish language in the same folder. There's no really anything which will so everything will be fine there. But as I mentioned, later some of the elements which will be point in will not work. So that's something where you can start. So we are starting with domain-related project, and then on the project level, this is something that not always we explain, but on the project level, you have a project settings. This is quite important. So this is our project, domain-related project, adidas.com, United States, English. And here you have a keywords, like desired keywords. So this is the keywords that you're willing to rank for. The brand keywords, negative keywords. The negative keywords is something where if you just add the negative keywords, they will be never ever displayed in the terms. So it's like, for example, is your competitor, for example. So you can add here a competitor, and any of your I would say, let's say you have a freelancer and he don't know who is your competitor, so you can just add as a negative keyword and it will be never visible. And also you can add a competitors like competitor products and so on and so on. So that's something that you can add here. We are using part of it, not all yet, but we will use all in the next steps. And also you can add a competitors here, and competitors which are added here are used for a content planner. So you can just add here your competitors, as many as you want, and we will use them for a content planner. So we just go for and check also content that they have for a specific topic. Okay, so I believe this is on the project level, that's enough. And then you are landing in the first view, and the first view is just a content writer where you have all your queries, analyses, as you can see here. And here the main points are like, yeah, you can just start a new query, of course. And for us, it could be like, I don't know, run the running shoes. So you just type the query in the same way like you type in the Google. Then you just choose a search engine, language, and in advanced settings, if you like, you can add extra keywords, and we will add these keywords to analyze. So if you would like to add a specific set of keywords, like for example, your brand name, your product name, and so on, you can add them here. If you like to optimize existing article, you can just add the article here. You can also use Google Search Console to find the article which can rank for the running shoes. So there will be information here which articles can rank for. And if you would like to already assign this to, you can assign this to let's say Anna, and when it should be ready, let's say 20, and then you can click start, and that's all. In some of the plans, you can also option to create a multiple analysis, and multiple analysis means that you can just place, let's say 10 keywords, 10 queries at once, and then you can just run them, yeah, like in bulk. Yeah, so that's something for people who has, like, let's say 75 content pieces per month and so on. Yes. So, and then of course this, what happens right now, is the analyze of the SERPs. So first we are just doing the same like typically you do when you are searching for running shoes. So we are opening the Google page, we are scrape the results from the Google page. We are trying to understand what is on this page, what are the relevant elements, terms, and so on, snippets. And also we visit your main competitor pages, which means we visit top 30 pages to understand what are the content which leads them to be on the, let's say, number 3, 7, and so on, and the number that they are in during the specific query. And how this looks like later. So here we have one analyze. So maybe I will just go back for a second. So what is more here in this table. So as we said, here you have, as you can see here, Anna and when it should be ready. Yes. Also you have a statuses. So you can have a status like, okay, leave as it is, or delete, or redirect. So there are the statuses, and you can use your own statuses as well. So it's like a tagging system. So you can say like, okay, this is a home page, or this is like a landing page, or it should be like, no, deleted, whatever you would like to do. And here you have actions like, you know, I would like to open editor. I would like to, I would say, restart the optimization, which means like, okay, we have an old content and we would like to refresh the content. And you can delete as well. And deleting doesn't mean really deleting, but it's just a filter when you set the specific query to not visible in default. And later you can just make it like, okay, show me all what I had deleted previously, and you can get it. Okay, so that are the main elements that you can do. And then we have also the difficulty. And the difficulty means, and I will just go into difficulty in a second, the difficulty means like how difficult is this keyword according to mainly the competitors and ads. So this is also very interesting, because here the ads and the CPC has also a leading factor. So if there is a lot of ads here on this query, if there is a lot of interest, if there are some extra results and so on, then the factor will be higher. So the difficulty factor. Okay, so then you are opening the analysis, and in the first screen we are asking you for choosing your competitors. And why we are doing this? So because everything what is displayed through later on the recommendation level is based on your competitors. And it's very, very important to choose your competitors well, because otherwise you will just have not correct recommendations. So there are two main options here. So first of all, you have to look on your real competitors, like, okay, what are my competitors? Who is my competitor? And then the second one, if the pages that are ranking from my competitors are similar to the content type that I would like to write, yes, or create. So for example, if you look like we are on the query which is called running shoes, and if you already see here, we have a content best running shoes 2022, best running shoes review. So this is a content for a review page. If you are planning for, for running shoes, could be a category page as well. And this is the second one. You see, rat runner category, men's shoes running. Then if you are planning the category page, then you should choose the category pages here and your main competitors. If you are planning to have a listing article, the review article, whatever, then go and see if there is a lot of review articles here, and then choose like, okay, I would like to go for the review article. Typically, this, as you can see from the category pages here, it's mainly a category page. So it's mainly a description for a category page. So you can go like, okay, I don't need this one because it's just like best running shoes. This is the article probably. And then, okay, this one, category. And yeah, if you don't like the results from, for example, Amazon, you don't have to have them. Here you have the Adidas US. Here, I believe we have the Adidas.com, so it's a different domain. And yeah, and you can go for next ones. Typically, you can choose the best ones from according to the content score, but also you can look on the length of the words. This is also something quite important. And let's say this is all. That's all your competitors that you choose for, and you are sure that the type of the page is okay. So it's a category page. Let's say sometimes if they, for example, have only running shoes, like in this one. So here it's a shop about the running shoes. It could be a homepage as well, yeah, because they don't have anything else. It's not a category page. It's a shop only about the running shoes. So then you can always visit the page as well. Yeah, so you can just here open and visit the page, and then you can just click OK. I'm happy with it, and right now the system will just recalculate the recommendations for you and will give you the information in the next window. So, and I will give you the link here for a tree on this here.
Okay, so as you can see, we're now in the editor view, and probably the typical starting point is creating the draft that helps you build your document structure based on what was written by your competitors, and also what questions we found in Google search results, Google Suggest, and people also asked. So now I'm going to start with the editor. You can use the draft generator also to create meta description and title. And as you can see, we give you the ideas of how your competitors wrote these sections. Okay, so for instance, this looks like a good starting point, and I should probably modify this to make it unique and suit my brand rather than someone else's. But I can use this as an example. And now I can move to creating a document structure based on what your competitors have written. And as you can see here, I've got the H2 headers. So I can easily select them and add them to the document outline. So, for instance, what running shoe is best for you?
How to choose, how to pick is the same.
How much caution do you want to feel? Maybe something.
Yeah, because this is like a category page, then we, as you can see, we have a lot of headers which are based on the product structure. So this is also something that you can, I would say, add to your content planning, because if you are looking at the competitors, there will be always a structure of the competitor page, but also you can look on the questions, and the questions are more general because the questions are mainly from a Google. People also ask, and the Google suggestions and so on, which are also quite interesting for you to understand what the people are searching for, what are they looking for according to, let's say, the best running shoes and so on, or just the running shoes.
Okay, so I've added a few ideas. First of them refer to the general advice about buying running shoes. And I've also added 3 sections about 3 types of popular running shoes and also everyday sneakers. And now I can save these
Maybe questions.
Maybe
well.
Okay. Okay, so maybe I can also add a few questions, and as you can see, there are questions taken from people also ask, questions also taken from Google Suggest, and questions extracted from your competitor's content. And as you can see in this topic, there are a lot of questions from Google. There are also questions taken from your competitor's content, and as you can see, they are here with paragraph icon. Okay, so let's say something like, what is the difference between a running shoe and a regular shoe? That might be something worth writing about. And as you can see, I can also move and change the order of the draft sections. And now I can probably save the draft, copy it to the editor.
Okay, so once again, here we have on the draft level, we have 2 main elements. So we have the user intent, which is visible on the level of the questions which are which are in the people also asked in the Google suggest and so on. So you have general idea about what the people are searching for, what are the most common questions and so on. And this is where you can start in general the research. Yes, okay, this is like, okay, what are the questions of my audience? What are the questions? Yes. And the second, we have also the headers, which are more like a technical way of explaining to the user the answers for those questions. In some cases, like articles, listings, and so on, they will be very, very similar. And in some cases, like in this case, they could be quite different, because let's say on the e-commerce category pages, the headers are mostly not really this what we are thinking about the headers, so there are not sections in the article. The same could be on the e-commerce product line level, and there are a few exceptions, like so in general, if you are talking about the e-commerce, you have to just look on this, how to make this as good as possible according to the content type. And if you are just writing the article for a blog, they will be quite similar. So I mean, like this, what you find in people also ask, or the common questions in Google, it will be also visible in your competitors. And if it's not visible in your competitors, this is something that you should pick up and use. You can copy all those questions as well. So you can copy them and you can just paste them and work on them later.
Okay, and as you can see, for headings that were taken from your competitor's content, we can also give you some information about what is typically included in these paragraphs. So, for instance, you can also get the idea of the terms that are typically used in the paragraph about, let's say, how to choose the best running shoe. And you can use this information to either write the content yourself or to generate content that describes the given idea. Okay, so maybe it's time to show generation.
Yeah, I'll just go through the editor in general, what we have here and so on.
Okay,
Very
so
broadly.
maybe before I start generating content, a brief explanation about the editor and what it contains. As you can see, there are two main tabs. One is the meta tab that combines the title and description guidelines. And for instance, I can type okay. And as you can see, now all the terms are in green, so meaning that I've covered the most important terms for title. And below this, you can also see the preview that gives you the idea of how your snippet will look like in Google search results. And there is also a part in yellow showing that probably this part will not be shown to the user. So this description, while it contains most of the important terms, it may be just a bit too long. And as you can see, you can also check the mobile view. The main tab is the content tab, where you put all your article structure and content. And to the left of the editor, you will see the sidebar, which contains the most important guidelines. For instance, information about the terms that should be included in H1 and H2 level, and also about the terms that should be included in content in general. As you can see, we've already saturated some of these terms. When they are in green, it means that we are within the expected use range, and when it's light green, it means you can probably use more of them. When they turn to yellow or red, you should probably consider using the term less often. And if you don't know how to use the given term, you can also click on the term and see how your competitors use the term. So you can easily make use of these ideas. You can copy them and put them into the editor as well. Always remembering that you should change this content and make it unique, so that you don't duplicate with your competitors. You can also see that there is an ideas tab containing all the questions and header ideas that we've previously seen in the draft generator. And also something that may be useful sometimes is the YouTube-based ideas section that gives you also some new possibilities of extending your content with subtopics that are usually more emotional and probably interesting and engaging to the user. And something that is really important and gathers all our recommendations into one metric is the content score. You can compare your content score with your competitors. And for instance, the first in search results had the content score of 88, while top 10 competitors have the average of 56, and 13 of the competitors you've selected had the average of 49. And if you don't know how to improve your content score, there is a checklist button right to the content score where you can see where you have the most room for improvement. And also there is some basic information on how you should do this in practice. Okay, so maybe now about the generation.
Yeah.
Okay, there are at least 2 or 3 ways to generate content in NeuronWriter. We use the very best of OpenAI's GPT-3 models, and the most common method is using beta generate that generates content based on paragraph nodes that we've previously gathered from the draft generator, and it will try to write paragraph for the given heading, considering also the use of suggested terms for the paragraph. So I can click it right now, and as you can see, you can also add your own terms that probably should be included in this paragraph. I'm probably going to remove the competitor's brands because I want more general advice. In each of the content generation pop-ups, you can also set the creativity level that affects how unique the content will be, and with higher creativity, the content is more likely to be unique, but there is also a higher risk that you will have to do the fact checking. And you can also change the quality setting, and with lower quality setting, you will be able to generate 5 times as much content with the same AI credits. So now I'm going to generate the content. Okay, and as you can see, we've got the content generated by artificial intelligence. You can either accept this or generate again. So let's say I'm going to accept this, and the content goes to the paragraph. And I can do this over and over again for all the paragraphs, and do this as a starting point. Okay. So I'm going to do this for just one more paragraph. Okay, and as you can see, the content score goes up, the length of our article also goes up, and it also affects the readability metric. And readability metric is the estimation of how difficult your content is to read, which means if you have the readability score of 0, it will be very difficult and probably suitable for content that may be related to some scientific studies. And 100 means it will be easy to read for children. And it doesn't mean that going for 100 is better. It just means that you should go for the typical range and match the expectations of your target audience. Okay, there is also an option that is probably included from Gold Plan upwards, which is plugin check, and we can check if the content is unique or has already been distributed in other domains. The check usually takes up to 2 or 3 minutes. And it can also be used to just make sure that your generated content is also unique, because while it usually is, for especially in some less popular niches, the AI tends to generate the content that may be very repetitive, and this might lead into content duplication. Okay, so I've started the check. It will probably take some time, but we should see the details about the uniqueness of our content, and also the sources in which the content has already been found. Okay, so maybe while I wait for the plagiat check to finish, I'll look at some questions.
I'm answering the questions right now.
Okay, so
yeah, so we can. Yeah, we can just. Yeah, yeah. In the meantime, as you can see, I start asking. Applying your questions on the from the chat. So most of them are replied, and I will just reply more during this demo. So yeah.
Okay. So we've got the check output. We've got the information that our content is 90% unique. We can also save the content revision that contains all the information about the plagiat check. So I'm going to save the content, and as you can see, you can browse through content revisions right here. And if you save the content after the plagiat check, you also have the information about the uniqueness of your content. And you can also check the details. And as you can see, the only parts that have been duplicated are the headings. Oh, maybe not only. But there are just, let's say, 3 sentences that have been matched in your competitor's content. And as you can see, there are also sources and the estimated similarity between you and a given source. So I'd say that 90% is quite good. If you just want to make sure, you can alter these 2 or 3 sentences. Also, when you finish working on your content, you can mark your content as done, which will send the notification to the project owner, unless it's your own project. But when it's a shared project, it will also notify the project owner. It will also affect your content calendar. And as you can see, there are different export options available. And you can export the content in HTML format as a Word document, or just copy the formatted text so that it can be pasted into different platforms. So probably this is probably I've covered most of the basic topics referred to the editor. Maybe one more thing is that you can also select the content and use the AI writing options after selecting a piece of content. And as you can see, you've got the start paragraph option, expanding your thought, and rephrasing. So you can use the rephrase option when you want to make your content more unique and different to the source, for example. Okay. So this is the original text, and this is the rephrased version. So as you can see, the meaning is exactly the same, but it was put using different words. Something more to cover?
No, I believe we will just go over I would say the content score, like the checklist, and this is what you can do, because there were some questions about adding the keywords from a search console, adding your own keywords, ideas, and so on. But yeah, do you have any questions about about this? I would say workflow. So I believe that the workflow here is quite simple. So first you start with one query. We assume that it could be a quite general query if you just start working with Neuron, like let's say like running shoes. Then you create a content which is your pillar page, which is like your main content in this for this topic, because this is most I would say common query. And then later, which we'll show you as well, then when you finish the first content piece, you can go and plan the next content pieces as well, starting from the content ideas to understand what people are searching for in the same topical area. So what if they are searching for running shoes, what are the next steps in this, let's say, content funnel? So what your communication can be in the next steps. And then later also we will give you some information about the functions that we have here as well. Okay, so yeah.
Okay,
if you would like to, we can check as well.
No, I think it's okay. Okay, so from this point you can also do something we've already talked about, that is finding new content ideas. And before you do this, it's also good to have at least 2 or 3 competitors, so that you get the information about if your competitors covered the particular topic. So I'm going to look for new ideas.
We will make this much easier in the becoming weeks, because we just don't have time right now for optimization. But the plan is like we will understand who is your competitor. If you have enough queries in the project, then we will try to give you the information about who is your competitor, and then you can agree yes or no. But we understand that the situation when you don't have a competitors, it's not really something important. So when you don't have the competitors, it's quite important, because, for example, this one, so the content planning, it's not really, you cannot do this without the competitor as well as with the competitors, but it should be automatic. Yes, I'll have automatic.
Okay, so we've generated the content ideas based on the main keyword. And as you can see, we've also clustered these ideas based on keyword and title similarity. So there are a few clusters with the main keyword, additional keywords that probably should be strongly linked to the main keyword and put into the same article. You can also see the information about your current positions in Google, both on the main keyword and additional keywords level. And as we've said before, you also get the information about if your competitors cover the particular idea, which just helps you make sure that it's worth covering. And from this point, you can add the ideas to your content plan.
So I will just add something here. So for example, here you have in the additional keyword, you have information on which keyword you are ranking right now. And also you have information about if your competitors are covering this topic already, or yes or not. And for example, here we have the can you use any sneakers for running? So the idea is can I run in the sneakers? That's the idea, yes. And you can already understand that 2 of your competitors are covering this topic and quite well. Nike on the number 2 and ASCII on the number 6. You are on the number 62 for this specific intent. So this is like opportunity for you because there is a really user intent, and this user intent is already discovered by your competitors. So you can just add it to the content plan, and you can just go in the same way for other elements, like for example, best running shoes. We are seeing that there is a rankings here for your competitors. You don't rank, yes, but this is quite high. But that's something that you can also cover just after covering this, what is extreme. So extreme is just like, you should start it first. And then if you just do everything extreme, then you go for high, low, and so on. And that's of course, this one shouldn't be here because it's Nike, just your competitor. So you can use negative keywords, and then it won't be here because the keyword Nike won't be in your I would say in your area of expertise. And then you have next one, which can be like so I believe that's something that's all, because all the rest, it's a branded there are branded, but we should filter it out. So as I said, there are negative keywords that you can use, and the competitors name that you can use for just filtering this out.
Okay, so I'll try to add some ideas to the content plan. So for instance, can you use any sneakers for running? I'm adding this to the content plan and you will see that it appears here in the plan view. Okay, and as we've shown this before, you can assign this to a particular person and say when you expect to complete writing this content. So let's say it will be 27th of October. And if you set the date, you will also be able to see this idea in the calendar. It is light blue because it means that it has been planned, but you didn't start writing. So if you, from this view, start writing the content, it goes to your optimizations. And now if I refresh the calendar view, you will see that it turned dark blue, and it means that it has already been put into progress. And as you can see, completed articles marked as done are in green. One thing that we can also talk about from the editor view is internal link suggestions, and it gives you the idea of what pages can be linked to your main keyword, or the article you write for this main keyword, and which articles are probably the most similar to the given keyword. And as you can see, we probably see some categories here, which means which is probably typical, because running shoes is a very general term, and it's not natural to link the top level categories with running shoes. And as you can see, you can also add notes where you put the information about, for instance, what anchor should be used, and so on. Okay.
I think that's all. I think that's all. I believe that this, what we also should cover is options based on the like a workflow, on the team management and so on, showing optimization, and I believe that will be all. So if we just so I will just cover this quite quickly because I'm replying here what the content. Okay. Yeah, so Contadouits are just like our main company, and NeuronWriter is like a child of company. That's how it works. Okay, so it's like a Photoshop, Adobe is for a Photoshop and so on. Okay, so the next elements which we could cover here are basically, so if you are working on your own, this is exactly how Damian explained it. So you are starting with a query, then you're writing the content for a single query. It could be article, could be like I don't know, category page, product description, whatever is needed, a blog page. So you are just covering this first query, then you go for a content plan, content ideas. You are go through the next queries, next ideas, and then you are there with the new ideas. Then from the new ideas, you are creating content plan, and on the content plan, you already have explained them that on the content plan you can also set date and the user. Yes, it was there. So yes, on the content plan for a long term, you can set who is we call this content owner, so who is responsible for a specific content and when the content is expected. So you can already understand, okay, this is my timeline, this is the content that I expect. Of course, if you are just on your own, then you are the owner, so it's your content. And later on the manage level, you will have information about when and what should be delivered. Yes, delivered by your team, delivered on your own, and so on. Okay, so that's the basics. And also, if you are working with the external copywriters, external teams, we have 3 options basically to share the content. So the first option is share the project on the team level. So you can add a team like so it's not really important here. So you can just add a person on the level here. You can just add them, and they will have the same view as you have. So I mean, they will have access to all modules like a write, plan, manage, and they can just add new analysis and so on and so on. So they are like working with you. They are your team. You are working together with them. They have the same, almost the same options as you do. So it's like a sub-admin. We can say. Then on the query level, you have next access. So if you are working on the specific content piece and you would like to, for example, work with a freelancer, you can just share the optimization with the freelancer, and you can just invite them by email or invite them by a link. So you can just share a link, send a link to a copywriter and say like, hey, here is the content that I would like that you are finishing, writing, optimizing, whatever you agreed with your copywriter. And the third option is to share a content with your end customer. So for example, you are a copywriter or you are a content creator, I don't know, content studio, whatever, and then you would like to share end result with your customer, and then you can send them a link to something which is like call it like non-edit view, so they can just see how this works, how this looks, but they cannot really edit. But they see also the terms in the sidebar, they see the content score, so they can understand that it's done according to the guidelines from the NeuronWriter. So this is how this works, and I believe that's all. And if you have any questions about the process and so on, then just let us know, and we'll reply here in the Q&A part.
Okay, are there any questions left to answer, or okay, Asim, hello, I have a paid version, but I cannot see plan feature on it. Content planning is available from Silver Plan upwards.
Yeah. Asim is asking how to get plan feature. I believe this is the same question, or you, yeah. So it's the same question, and then we have. Okay, so here the poll is asking if you share dot showing the results. Yeah, you can just import the content to a doc, so you can just export it and send it as a doc, and that's okay. That's completely okay.
Yeah, but he meant probably that if you share the preview link with a person you want to show the content to, does this person have to create the account? And
no.
Okay, so
the view option is just a view option. So you need an account to work on the content, because you're using the AR credits and everything, and you have also the internal, I would say, you are in the team, so you have things like a tagging, comments, and so on and so on. So yes, of course, you won't share. I believe at least you won't share something where they can use your credits without knowing who they are. Yes, but typically you just use the view for this icon exactly. I know it will be merged later. I know that it's not really visible maybe yet. So exactly this, like read-only content preview. And then your customer will, I will just give you the example how this works. So
I think I've just showed it. So.
Yeah, so it's just, so it's just like, we are even saying that it's content preview. You cannot do this.
And you cannot save from.
You cannot save. There is no even save button or anything like this. Okay, Joseph is asking the silver. He has a silver plan, but he cannot see the team. The teams are visible. So the team as a team is visible from the gold one, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, I believe so. Patrick is asking, am I writing about 3,500 words article in very competitive niche, and if so, getting the content score above 77? Patrick, I would say that. First of all, check the checklist, because on the checklist you will have all the information what and where. And the second, I would go very, very deeply in your competitors and choose really right competitors. So you can just change this here. Here we have a button for changing the competitors, and here you can use the custom selection and really custom select all your competitors. And look specifically on extended terms, because extended terms is something where you will get a lot of keywords which are not used, but so I would say they are used by your competitors, but not often. So for example, if you have 10 competitors selected and like 2 or 3 of them are using one of the keywords, it will be on the extended. So it's still related to the subject. It's still related, it's give you some kind of value, but it's not really like very often. So I would really focus on those extended keywords, and then it should give you the content score above 77, and also check the meta description, meta tag, and so on, because there are some points there as well. Like for example, exact in the meta title and meta description if needed. So here we have a few more questions. What are the average optimum content score to have to rank? So Asim, we don't really have the average content and so on, because every query is completely different. So if you are willing to, rank for something like iPhone, then your content score probably will be close to 100. But if you are willing to rank for something which is like your local query, then maybe your content 40 or content score 40 is enough. I mean, like completely enough. So this what we advise always. It's something like 10, 20 points more than your average on the competitors. So let's say in this case, your selected competitors average is 39 and top one is 49. So I would say if you go for 49, 59 for the first one, for the first time, it should be enough. Yeah. So it's better to just do 49 and see how this works. So you just do 49, you publish the content, you ask for reindexation, and then you see, okay, it's reindexed, where I am with my rankings and so on and so on. And then you optimize again in 2 weeks or a month and so on. Don't really spend a time when your competitors has a 40. Don't spend a time to go for, I don't know, 90, 100, because this could be even a negative factor for Google, because your content will be just too, I would say, too strange for Google. Yeah, so it will look like there is something wrong with your content, because they will have a lot of different signals, and they could be treated as an anomaly, and that's not something that we want. We want just to be a best one from the competitors, but not the best one in the world. So if you know what I mean, yes, I hope so. So here we have other questions. I would just say, like, so the good Nicola, it's like golden plan, it's worth every penny. So just make some balance between AI writing content. So yeah, we understand that right now the AI is not really perfect, and that's something that we are communicating. We will work on the AI templates, and then when we have the AI templates, then you will get a lot of, I would say, a lot of opportunities to rank it better. So I mean, like to do it better, to rank better, and so on, because you can just choose whatever you like a category page content, or I don't know, article content, and so on. So B is asking, like, I have a bronze plan, and so I don't really understand this. And so to get the lifetime deal, I just pick one of the ones you have listed. And what about the money I already spent? So yeah, so you are referring to the options where you can update or upgrade your plan. So it's always, if you are on the bronze plan and you just would like to upgrade to, I don't know, silver, then you just pay extra $59 and you are there. That's as simple as that. It works exactly the same way as on AppSumo. And so Antonio is asking if the features from the Surfer SEO are the same like in the Neuron. No, they are not the same, but on the editor level, I believe you are better than Surfer. Do you suggest to try, from Kevin, do you suggest to try to stay away from keywords with a high difficulty? No, that's not really what we suggest. I mean, like, the high difficulty, it will be very, I would say, very time consuming. Yes, so if you are just, that's of course depends, yes, because if you are, I was working with a enterprise level companies, and it was very easy to rank for high difficulty keywords because the brand was there, yes. But if you are just starting, then of course you should start from the bottom to the top, not from the top to the bottom. So you start first to, reach the customers which are not reached yet by your main competitors, I mean your big competitors. And then you build topical authority, and then of course you can rank for some mid and high difficulty keywords in long term. Yes, so you need to build this topical authority. And also high volume keywords don't always means that you have a high sales. So I mean you should include your sales strategy, your content strategy, or communication strategy in this, how you approach the customers. So it's not really like a 0-1. It's more like if you are small, you always can find a way how to deal with the big ones. So it's typical SEO strategy, and that's something that we can talk for an hours. So Paul is asking about the system, how to choose the competitors, right? So if they are above you, they are better, and so on and so on. So yeah, so how I'm doing this right, something like that. Yes. So first of all, I'm looking on the content type, because for me the content type is the most important. So if I'm just starting the query and I'm thinking about, okay, let's go for I don't know, for blog, and I see that there is not so many blogs there in the top 30, then I just change the query. So this is exactly how this works. Yes. So then I will add something like why, when, how, and or I don't know, review and whatever. Yes. So to be more on the top funnel, on the content funnel, if you are talking about, you know, entertainment content or just informational content and so on. So you understand, okay, this should be covered by the type of the content. Then later, when I understand, okay, if I'm willing to do the info content and I'm starting with why, okay, then I'm choosing the competitors which are just doing the same. They are just doing this better than me. Of course, I choose most of them on the above me if the content type is the same. And if there is something good below, then it's also fine. Sometimes you are not in the top 30 at all. So then you have to choose, I would say, like 7-10 best competitors. Sometimes also you can do the challenge. I mean, this is a little bit more expertise based, but you can do also a challenge like, okay, me contra 2 or 3 competitors. It's not something that we advise for a new content. It's more for existing content. So you have already your existing content and you would like to see how far you are from, let's say, 2-3 competitors. Then you can just choose the 2-3 competitors and see exactly on the details how far you are from those elements. But basically, choose the competitors first. And the second part, the most important part, indeed, is the second part when you choose the document layout, which means like the draft. Yeah, we call this draft, but it's like a document layout, the outline. When you go from the H1, the main summary, yeah, so the H1 is your summary, why you should choose the running shoes or what are the best running shoes in the world. And then you have all these sections which are very, very important, because if you think how Google reads your content and how machines understands your content, they are just looking for some kind of, I would say, like like a sections or guidelines in your content. So the sections are the most important, and then in each section you just have to have content related section. If you watch the videos, the webinars with Google, Google has a technology which even can understand if the sections are related to the document summary. So they understand about what the document is about, and they can understand, okay, this is a section which is not related to this document. It could be like, for example, your CTA or a link to a different blogs or category blogs or product blogs. So they can understand already that this is not relevant, and they can just like skip this according to the semantic relevance. So it's very important to have the right structure, to have the right keywords on the structure level, and to fill this with the best information and add something from yourself as well. So to cover this knowledge gap and just add something extra. So Patrick is asking about features available only to Platinum Plan. There are no features available only to Platinum Plan. All the features are available to Gold Plan. So Patrick, you shouldn't upgrade if you don't need any more resources. If, for example, you need more queries, you need something more on the usage level, then yes, then the Platinum Plan could be, or Diamond Plan could be good for you. But typically, everything what we are covering here is available in Gold Plan. Okay, Mike is complaining about the connection. So okay, that's something that we can maybe in the future we can just make it better. So Francois is asking how much should we optimize for outsource. Also, Francois is asking very important question like how to optimize the articles, which are articles like guest post and so on. So I believe the guest post should be something which is not really related to your main subject, but it should be related to your subject and the subject which is a topical authority of the domain when you are posting or blogging with. So for example, you are selling the shoes and then you are willing to do the cooperation with, I don't know, wash machine manufacturer, then your blog article, the article that you prepare for them should be like, what are the best, I don't know, shoes for, I don't know, often washing or whatever, yes? Or how to wash the shoes and so on, because then the relevance will be on the domain and you can get some links from this domain as well and clicks and so on and so on. You will have the relevance there, and you will have the relevance on your domain as well. Personally, I do not really advise to writing the content about this, what we are selling, and just posting this here and there, because if it's not really relevant, nobody will read it, nobody will click on those links, the usability will be bad, and you don't really need this, to be honest. Yes. So Linda is asking about the YouTube ideas. So the YouTube ideas, Linda, it's mainly for the copywriters and also for this, like if you have your own channel and you would like to include your own video and so on, this is also helpful, but basically just for the ideas, because very important is to cover the knowledge gap. And the knowledge gap is basically described by Google as something that your competitors didn't cover yet. So if you just can imagine that the copywriters are working just on the SERP level, so they are just doing like, okay, they visit the page 1, page 2, page 3, and so on, and they just basically make an article which don't give you any new information, just give you the same information in another form. This is something what Google calls copycatting, and they don't really see this as a very usable. So they already understand that you do not cover any new informations. And if somebody, so let's say that you have the top 10, and in top 10, all the articles are very similar. So they are just about exactly the same, but using different language, different words. So they already understand that if user reads article A, they can imagine that article B, C, D, and so on will be exactly about the same. So the knowledge, it's already there. So I already get this knowledge. So this, how they willing to do this, they are willing to find someone who will give a better information according to this, what is missing, yes? And this is called knowledge gap. And to cover the knowledge gap, we are also giving you the videos, because the videos are quite different, or they are mostly different, because the people are like, more on the feelings, like emotions and so on and so on. And there is a lot of different storylines in the video, so you can get a very, very fine feedback from the YouTube, and you can just find the ideas in the YouTube and so on. And also, on the YouTube, mostly users are like I would say more on expert level, yes. So sometimes if you are looking on expertise for, let's say you would like to write something about the topic that you don't know, then you can just learn this topic watching a video or something like that. Yes. Okay, so Antonio Jack is saying that connection is fine, that's good, that's great. Okay, any other questions? Exporting from NeuronWriter to WordPress, I would say that you can copy paste, that's the best one. You can also export as a HTML and import as a HTML, this is also fine. So Antonio is asking if there are any other levels above the gold. Yes, there are 2 levels above the gold, 2 plans above the gold. If you just visit your profile page, they are explained there. So yeah, then you can just, if we are not on the...
Yeah, I'm on the gold plan, so
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so if there are no other questions, we will just give you the info that, of course, all this is recorded. Probably I will cut it today or tomorrow morning to just cut all these not necessary elements, and we will publish this probably tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. So Patrick is asking if you consider entities in addition to keywords. So to be honest, we don't have entities, we don't have keywords, we have terms, which are the mix of entities and keywords. So because entities, if you are just like using the real, I would say, the real option for the entities, it's something which should be visible on the NLP level, let's say like Google and so on. And it's not always visible and it's not always really valid. So Google don't really have all entities in all languages. So we have a mix of those. So we don't have them. So Joseph is asking for the most pointer next time. So that's something that probably we can ask the software vendor, which is the live
I think
webinar.
it should be visible, but maybe due to recompression, it's not visible enough. So we can probably use something else.
So yeah, no. I mean, like the pointer is visible, but there is nothing else than the pointer. But I assume that there should be something there. Okay, so Kevin is asking, when picking the next content to write, most of them are long tail keywords. How do you suggest implement that keywords in my SEO? So yeah, Kevin. So I believe, as we said, for a long time, we are quite long in the SEO industry. We don't really think anymore on the keyword level. So we think more about the user intent level and the topical authority. Because the keywords means like you have a specific keyword, like for example, you and me, we can use completely different keywords, which will explain exactly the same keywords or just a sentence or whatever. Yes, so our vocabulary is different, but the meaning will be the same. And then if you just look on the, keywords, volume, CPC, and so on, then you are limiting yourself very, very much to something which is very popular, used by most of the people, and is visible on the CPC level. So it means that the ads are there. And the problem with ads is the people are not really using the ads common on the, for example, long tail keywords and so on and so on. So yeah, probably if you work in e-commerce, you will see a lot of I would say a lot of deals, a lot of orders, which are from the keywords with zero volume. So the content planner says like the keyword monthly is 0, the volume is 0, the CPC could be 0, and then somehow you are selling by those keywords. So yeah, so in general, we are building Neuron to be a tool which are leading you to be topical expert, to cover the topics, not the keywords. And then when you cover the topics, the keywords will be there anywhere. So if you would like to cover the topic like how to choose the best running shoes, the keyword best running shoes or running shoes will be there. And this is where you can very easy try to understand what your audience is looking for, what are the questions they are asking, where are the touch points for your product, and then just cover these topics. Yeah, I believe this is where we are heading to with the product. So Ken is asking here about the keywords for the keywords are for computers. Yeah. So I mean, like, in general, in few years, it's not yet, but Google works on it very, very hard. Not only Google, we will go into something which is right now called all the chat models. So the models which are like doing the NLP, the text analysis right now, they're basically going from the keywords and topics to the conversations. So if you think about, the Lambda model, if you think about the new model from Facebook and so on, we are right now on the level when we are not really using the keywords and we are not using even the sentences. We are just using the intent. And on the other side, you have a machine which will just understand what your goal is, what your meaning is, and they will just reply to you. It's the same like a conversation with a human. Yes, sometimes you can say, if they know you well, you can say one word and it will be, they will be know what you are asking for. So if you are talking about this, how the future will be more on the conversation level. So because even if you are looking right now how the Google, not only Google, but how the Google models are developed, they are developed mainly for a voice search. So they understand that the voice is much easier than typing and text. And it was the same with when you have you have the newspapers, then you have the radio. Yeah, radio is better. Then you have the television. Yeah, television is better. And it will be the same with the search. So we are going from the text search into the voice search, and we have already the video search as well, or the image search as well. Yes, so it will be easier for everyone to use the voice and to move from a single keyword, like a typing, like a running shoes, to a search like, what kind of shoes are you recommending for me for a running in, desert or whatever. This is the challenge that they have right now, and this is the way how the new models are developed. So the new models, they will already know your history. The history of your conversation with those bots. They will have your orders, your preferences, and so on and so on. And in a few years, you will just ask your refrigerator or whatever, your fridge. You will just ask your fridge, just order this what we typically order on Friday, and you say yes, okay, fine. I will order A, B, C, D. So this is how this works, and it will be more this kind of challenges in future. So Joe, we have the webinars every 2 weeks, and even probably this is one extra in the middle. So you can always ask questions on the chat here. I believe this is the most common question because also for us it's easier because we just we have the context here as well. Of course, you can catch us on the chat if you have some kind of technical questions and so on. And of course, you can go for it every time with us on the chat if you have like a technical question. And in general, yes, about future and so on. We are on talking about the webinars. Okay, so thank you all so much. It was a fun webinar, like always, and we are working on some kind of academy. So it will be academy when you have like a step-by-step what to do in the neuron to be as most effective as you can. And I believe this will be also very helpful for you because we understand that we are really spending a lot of time on the product right now and not enough time on onboarding. And that's something that we are going to cover in the next few weeks. Yeah, we are doing this step by step. So Joseph, step by step, starting from the product and then the onboarding. It's easier than opposite. Okay, so that's all I believe, and have a good day.
Hey, thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.